I am Stevie.
The Empty Man isn't your average horror flick. It starts with hikers in Bhutan and ends with cosmic cult conspiracies, and somewhere in the middle, you'll probably start to question if you even exist. It's ambitious, it's weird, and honestly, it might just be one of the most underrated modern horror films out there. So today, we're breaking it down. The Empty Man, scene by scene, talking about what it all means, and sprinkling in some of my own thoughts along the way.
Yeah, no.
We open in Ura Valley, Bhutan, 1995. Four friends, Greg, Paul, Fiona and Ruthie, are hiking up a mountain. Classic horror setup, remote wilderness, freezing weather and guaranteed zero Wi-Fi signal. You just know it's bad news. The sound calls to him. Paul, not exactly horror savvy, he wanders off, falls down a crevice, and Greg has to climb in after him. When Greg finds him, Paul's just sitting there in front of this nightmare skeleton, a spindly, twisted thing that looks like it crawled out of H.R. Geiger's sketchbook. Paul's muttering. The skeleton even twitches a little. Big red flags here. But Greg, being the friend he is, drags him out. They hole up in a nearby abandoned house. Paul's basically catatonic. Ruthie, though, starts to unravel. She looks outside during a snowstorm and sees something. A shadowy figure matching her footsteps before charging towards her. Creepy stuff, except when she tries to tell the others, Greg and Fiona didn't see a thing, which is either gaslighting or the Empty Man is already playing mind games. Later that night, Paul whispers something in Ruthie's ear, because nothing says sweet dreams like a possessed hiker muttering death ASMR into your ear. The next morning, things go full nightmare. Greg, Fiona and Ruthie haul Paul along the mountainside, but Ruthie suddenly snaps. Completely dazed, she stabs Greg and Fiona, tossing their bodies into the abyss before stabbing herself and falling too. Paul, still sitting there, still blowing into that cursed flute like the world's creepiest one-man band. And honestly, this opening prologue, it could have been its own short film. It's tense, atmospheric and brutal, and as the film carries on, it's almost like a completely separate film to the one we're about to see. But man, what a way to start. Fast forward to Missouri, 2018. We meet James, a former detective now running a security store and haunted by tragedy. His wife and son died in a car accident a year earlier, and he keeps hearing a voice in his head whispering, spoiler, that's not going away anytime soon. James is friendly with Nora Quayle and her teenage daughter, Amanda, who sees James as a kind of father figure. Unfortunately, Amanda goes missing and things get weird fast. Nora calls for James's help, and together they find a chilling message scrawled in blood on Amanda's mirror. The Empty Man made me do it. Which, not a great thing to read in your kid's bedroom. Cops take over, but James can't help digging deeper. He questions Amanda's friend, Devara, who spills a little bit about an urban legend game the teens had played recently.
He went to a bridge after dark. He found an empty bottle. If you blew into it, and you thought about him, something would happen.
Basically, you blow into a bottle on a creepy bridge and the Empty Man comes for you in 3 days.
On the first night, you hear him. And then on the second night, you see him.
And on the third night?
Well, on the third night, he finds you.
And surprise, surprise, they all did it. Because
Your turn,
in these
scrub.
films, teenagers never learn. James heads to the bridge and he himself blows into the empty bottle, which is basically the equivalent of saying, "Sign me up for death." Underneath the bridge, he finds the teens who summoned the Empty Man, hanging dead, all of them, ritual style. It's a striking and disturbing scene, and one of those horror images that sticks in your brain. Meanwhile, Devara herself meets a gruesome fate at a spa. Fog fills the room, Scissors appear and she's compelled to stab herself. It's officially ruled as a suicide, but James isn't buying it. This is now officially day one for James. Digging deeper, James uncovers references to a cult called the Pontifex Institute. Their philosophy, empty yourself, become a vessel, receive the message, sounds like a motivational seminar run by H.P. Lovecraft.
At one time we were one. We will all be one again. This message comes to you directly from the empty man. He beckons you to discover the true face of the world.
He attends one of the gatherings where Arthur Parsons, played by Stephen Root, gives a sermon. Afterwards, Arthur hints that the empty man is real, and he rewards his followers with whatever they desire if they surrender themselves.
The atmosphere. So it is our thoughts feed and are fed by the noosphere.
The noosphere.
The sum of all conscious thought.
James tails cult members and discovers Paul, yes, Bhutan Paul, now decades older, lying comatose in a hospital bed. Cultists bow and chant to him as if he's their prophet. Turns out Paul has been serving as a vessel, a kind of cosmic radio tower for the empty man's signal. James gets spooked, especially when he finds himself being chased by a hooded mob in the woods.
Yeah, no.
James finally finds Amanda, but she's not missing, she's indoctrinated. She explains that he's the perfect candidate to replace Paul. Why? Because he's empty. No wife, no kids, no hope, just grief and guilt. The cult basically manifested him into
We
existence.
made you as a group. We wrote up a complete biography for you and focused on it intently for several sessions to conjure you into being.
Yep, James might literally be a tulpa created by the collective belief. Amanda repeats the same line James has been haunted by.
And where were you? When they needed you the most.
Hammering home his survivor's guilt, and then it all clicks. He's not just been investigating the case, he is
You're
the
not your
case.
own man. You're our man.
James, in full breakdown mode, goes back to the hospital. He shoots comatose Paul in the head. And when staff rush in, they bow to James. He is the new vessel. He is the new empty man. Alright, so what's actually happening here? Let's clear it up. The Pontifex Institute believes there are forces beyond our world. Maybe aliens, maybe higher dimensions, maybe Lovecraftian entities. They don't step into our reality directly. Instead, they send signals, and those signals need a receiver, a human antenna. The skeleton in Bhutan, that was the remains of the last antenna. Paul touched it and took on the role, which is why he went catatonic. Decades later, the cult needed a stronger connection, so they manifested James. They literally willed him into existence using the formula. Thought plus concentration plus time equals flesh. Meaning, James isn't just unlucky, he's not even real in a traditional sense. His grief, his past, his guilt, all implanted memories. So why does the empty man kill? 2 reasons. First, to protect the antenna, and the second, to spread fear, because the more people that believe in the empty man, the more power that belief has. In a universe where thought can create flesh, urban legends are basically fuel for gods. And here's the kicker. If James's memories feel real to him, does it matter if they're fabricated? His pain, his guilt, the feeling of loss, it all drives him, which is kind of the film's darkest idea. Reality might not be real, but experience is, and that's terrifying. So, at its core, The Empty Man is about grief, guilt, and the horrifying idea of being nothing more than a construct. It blends urban legend horror with cosmic dread, sometimes clunky, but always ambitious. The Bhutan prologue ties back to the original point of the vessel. Paul took over from the skeleton, James took over from Paul, and it all comes back to belief shaping reality. Now here's where things get interesting, because The Empty Man started life as a comic book by Cullen Bunn. And the comic, it's a whole different beast compared to the movie. In the comics, the Empty Man isn't an urban legend you can summon on a bridge. It's more like a contagious psychic disease, a mix of body horror and apocalypse fiction. Victims hallucinate, go violent, and eventually fall into a catatonic state. The story follows FBI agents investigating outbreaks across the country, and the vibe is much closer to The X-Files meets The Ring, if The Ring came with a side order of plague-level panic. The film, though, David Pryor takes the name and a few loose ideas, but reimagines it completely. Instead of infection, the Empty Man becomes this cosmic force, something that needs a human vessel to transmit its message. The Pontifex Institute cult is front and centre, and the story shifts from government investigation to something much more personal and philosophical. It's not about society collapsing, it's about one man, James, discovering he's literally a tulpa, a thought made flesh, created by the cult to replace the last vessel. So where the comic leans into the outbreak horror and body horror, the movie goes all in on cosmic dread, cult, and questions of identity. Both are creepy in their own way, but they're totally different flavours of horror. It's less an adaptation and more like two parallel universes using the same title. So, The Empty Man, underrated modern horror gem or a bloated cosmic mess? Honestly, it could be a little bit of both. The first act on its own is a masterpiece. The middle perhaps drags a little bit in places, but the ambition here is undeniable. For a film that was buried on release, it's developed a well-earned cult following. I personally love it, even if it's flawed slightly. If you've made it this far, you might just love it too. Just maybe don't go blown into strange bottles on creepy bridges anytime soon. It doesn't end well. As always, thank you for tuning into the channel.
We did it, people.